Hi, I'm Rick Streaker, Packard's National Training Coordinator. In this session of Packard Academy, we're going to talk about blower wheel performance and selection. Now, the proper name for a blower is a centrifugal fan. The reason it's called a centrifugal fan because when the blower spins, it's taking the air that's available in the inlet of the blower and turning that inside the wheel. The centrifugal force of that air going through this wheel is then pressurized and comes out through the outlet of the blower. So centrifugal fan is the proper name for this. We're going to refer to this as a blower. Blowers are critical components in heating and air conditioning equipment. Before removing a blower wheel from the blower housing, be certain that you identify the location of the wheel within the housing so that when you reassemble the replacement wheel in the housing, it's in the proper position, giving you proper performance. When looking at a replacement for a particular wheel, you'll notice that on wheels, they're not identified in terms of CFM, as a fan blade may be. The reason for that, a wheel has to be matched with the housing in order to give you the proper air performance. Without the housing, you cannot identify the CFM at any given static level. If you look at a complete blower package, it will be identified with CFM, which is cubic feet per minute of air, as well as static pressure, which is normally identified in inches of water column. The first step in replacing a blower wheel is to identify if there's a part number on the wheel. On this particular blower wheel, there is a part number etched in to the hub of the wheel. So using that part number, you can see if there might be an inventory part for that. If not, perhaps there's a cross-reference that would cross to that particular part number. If that's the case, then use that cross-reference as a replacement. There are going to be many situations where you will not have a part number, or if you do have a part number, it may not cross to an off-the-shelf replacement part. When there's no cross-reference that's been identified, then we look at the characteristics of the wheel to determine a suitable replacement. One of the first characteristics that we look at is the actual construction of the wheel. In this case, this is what's known as a tab lock wheel. You can see how the blades of the wheel are inserted into a ring and locked into that ring. Another design is a strip wheel. With the strip wheel, a flat sheet of metal is used and it's punched out to give us the design that we need. The blades are not individually locked into the rings, the end rings of those blower wheels. After determining the wheel construction, we then want to look at the diameter of the wheel and have a replacement that matches the diameter. Determining the diameter is easy, and that you measure the diameter of the wheel and replace it one with an equivalent diameter. When we determine that, we want to then know the width of the wheel. The width of the wheel is just the measurement across the wheel. The next characteristic are the number of inlets on the wheel. In the case of this wheel, it's a double inlet. It's an inlet for air on this side and another inlet of air on this side. Some wheels are single inlet wheels. This is a single inlet, only one area for air. The rotation is an important characteristic on a wheel. When you look at a wheel, you'll notice that there are blades, individual blades. Those individual blades are cupped. The rotation of the wheel is the cup side going into the air, cutting into the air. The rotation is determined from the end plate of the blower. For example, with this particular wheel, the blades are cupped at an angle. Looking at the back plate of the blower, the rotation of this wheel would be determined, looking at the back plate, clockwise rotation. On a double inlet wheel, one side of the inlet will have a hub for attaching it to the shaft of the motor. The second inlet does not have a hub. Rotation is determined by looking at the hub, and again, with the curve on the blades, in this case, the curve is like this. Looking at the hub end of the wheel, the rotation would be clockwise. The hub position on the wheel is an important characteristic. For a single inlet wheel, the hub could be located inside the wheel, or it could be located on the back side of the wheel, outside of the wheel. On a double inlet blower, the hub could be on either location of the wheel, and that hub may be centered, or it's possible that it could be off-center. Another characteristic of the blower wheel is the location of the hub to the back plate. On a double wheel, the back plate may be concave and convex. That may be an important characteristic when mounting the blower wheel to the motor in order to avoid any obstruction with the motor to the blower wheel. Wheels can come in different materials. Plastic wheels are prevalent, but we also have steel and we have aluminum wheels that are very common. So replace with the appropriate material. Plastic is great for outdoors or for corrosive materials. Determining performance is also based on the number of blades within the wheel. Counting the number of blades will determine the performance of that given wheel. On a strip wheel, typically you can see 20 to 40 blades on a wheel. On a tab lock wheel, you can get more blades on that, which provide more air, more pressure. You could see 24 to 64 blades. There are wheels that operate in an opposite rotation called backward curved wheels. Those particular wheels are not prevalent in most common heating and air conditioning applications. Those particular wheels, typically you'll see 7 to 11 blades. The wheels are designed to operate at given RPMs. There are maximum levels of speed that the wheel can operate at. If it exceeds that speed, it's possible that that wheel could come apart and cause damage in the system. So when selecting the wheels, make certain that the wheel is able to take the speed that the motor is rated at. After you've selected a wheel and installed the blower wheel into the housing, it's important to make certain that the amps are okay on that particular motor. When checking the amps, be certain that the static pressure is appropriate, giving you the proper performance of that wheel. In future videos, we'll be covering the effect of static pressure on the blower wheel to provide deeper insight into that. You want to make sure that the air delivery is proper in the system. You want to look at the temperatures of the system, make sure that you're achieving the proper temperatures. Also want to look at superheat to assure that there's no liquid going to the compressor after the evaporator. A draft inducer is a very, very specific blower. When replacing the draft inducer, replace that by the same OEM part number or use a good reliable cross-reference to replace it. Do not replace those based upon appearance or performance characteristics. Use a cross-reference. Thank you for participating in the Packard Academy. For more information on blower wheels and fan blades, please see our additional videos. All of our training videos are available through our website and also on our YouTube site. Thanks again.